Attention, gullible, self-involved web-surfing knobs. This website has been preempted for an important news broadcast. I know what you're thinking. What's this voice I'm hearing? Who the is talking? Well, it's the unscheduled, unendorsed, undeniable truth talking. And whether you know it or not, the truth is what you've been seeking all your miserable, picus-watching lives. Now, if you've browsed around this website, you might be under the impression that Sarif Industries is a company making an honest attempt to improve our lifestyles, help out wounded vets, and ultimately make our oh-so-difficult way of life easier. You'll never again have to suffer the inconsolable horror of losing your cell phone, because you can now have one implanted in your arm. You're on this site right now, perhaps asking yourself the question, will a robot arm enhance my life? Would I see better with a mechanical sensor in my eye? And if I get one, is it morally responsible of me? Well, let me give you the answers right now, truth seekers. The answer is run for your f***ing lives, man! If you can't see the signs on this one, you may need to check into corporate propaganda rehab. But fear not, seekers. That's why I've hijacked this SarifSlaveState.com here. That's right. Thanks to my head hacker homeboy Steve over here, I'm taking on the corporate techno-tyrant himself, David Sarif, right in his own crib. Yeah, you, Davy boy, I'm calling you out. See, I look at this site, and I don't see a techno-paradise at our fingertips. You may see a future with happy, smiley amputees living a full life. I see our babies with chips in their eyeballs. You see sunshine and green grass. I see darkness and a police state run by super soldiers. You see human enhancement. I see chains, shackles, cell doors, fire and brimstone. Yes, the future is looking mighty grim, my friends. If you want the truth, keep clicking onto this website every week. Yeah, they'll try to shake us, but they don't know that Steve can not only ingest more hot dogs per minute than any known human, but he's also the greatest hacker in all of cyberspace. You can bet these corporate tyrants have no idea what kind of genius they are dealing with now. Mustard stains on his shirt and all. I like to call him Colonel Moutard. You got some on your mustache, Steve? Yeah, right there. Stay tuned, seekers. This just in, David Sarif has no soul. Not exactly breaking news, right? Well, here's some shit you may not know. Sarif may be a corporate slime ball and a minor league despot waiting for the call-up, but he's no dummy. He knows he's not gonna make crazy loot on a mechanical prosthetics biz by marketing towards pop star wannabes and one-time high school quarterbacks in midlife crises. No, sir. He's gonna do what all shameless, self-serving, dishonest scientists and engineers do. Go straight to the military and sell out the future of humanity for the prettiest, blood-soakiest penny. They started years ago with Project Phoenix, the basic idea of which, for those who don't know, was let's take these soldiers who've been maimed in one of the many oil wars we've been waging over the past 2 decades, basically refit them with a new mechanical arm or leg or whatever they lost on the merciless, living hell of a battlefield, and then do what with them? Send them back to the front lines like a refurbished car! Are you kidding me, America? Am I the only one who sees the sickness in all this? Apparently, literally giving your right arms to serve your country is not enough to get a little vacation. Nuh-uh. And no, David Sarif didn't stop there, seekers. It didn't take long for him to lock down a top-secret, no-bid contract with the CIA to start producing intelligence-enhancing chips for agents to plug into their brains. Boy, am I going to miss the days when federal agents would ransack your house without a warrant, pull out your nails with pliers for information, and violate every civil right in the known universe. It won't be long before all they have to do is flick a switch with the blink of an eye and read your frickin' mind. I just can't wait. See, seekers, these are 2 of the most coveted military/intelligence contracts of all time, and Sarif Industries has them both. There's no money in peace, we all know that. Now we got wars in the Middle East, secessionist groups springing up all over the US of A, and a Chinese empire that's growing faster than the president's hubris. Think of the opportunity. Lots of wars means lots of soldiers. Soon we'll have truckloads of limbless soldiers coming back, waiting to get touched up, polished, overhauled, gussed up, renovated, refreshed, rehashed, revamped, and shipped back the hell out. Steve, Get me a chamomile tea, pronto. And we're out, Seekers. Drop by again next week for some more unauthorized online truth. Oh, I really like the background music on the website. Yeah, no feelings of doom with this soundtrack choice. Seriously, I almost committed suicide before I clicked on the second link. It's like they're inadvertently letting us know you're all cockroach-worshipping, apocalyptic toast if you actually let this technology flourish. Cue the death theme. Who are the marketing geniuses behind this one? Honestly, can you get more creepy than this site? Hey, team, how about we put an outstretched robot palm holding a mechanical eye on the main page? Make it feel like it's hovering a bit to give it that ghostly, human-enslaving evil robot feeling. That'll get people interested in our product. They'll be like, shit, I've always wanted to hold my own eyeball in my palm. How can I learn more? Drop the post-apocalyptic anthem! The real joke is that you are actually buying all this. You actually believe that augmentations are going to open the doors for a more prosperous future. Come on, people! Why do you hate who you are so much that you think mutilating yourself is okay? Don't you understand that the real beauty of we as a people is our biological essence? How we develop the organic materials that we were tooled with. That's why we love the Olympics and ban illegal substances. That's why the guy with 800 career home runs is not in the Hall of Fame. Because juicing up and souping up tarnishes who we are as human beings. You know what real beauty is, people? Beauty is when we push ourselves to the limits with what we were given on the day we came screaming out of the holiest of holies. Not coming on this website, typing in your credit card number so you can become a fucking transforming robot. I knew this was coming, though. I warned you when that Teasdale douche sued the government so that he could have his perfectly healthy limbs replaced with augmentations so he could get some work lifting crates. I warned you when that game show contestant used a brain enhancement chip to cheat his way to victory on international television. There is no limit to what people will do to show up their neighbor and satisfy their insatiable greed. We've seen this movie before, Seekers. We know where this will lead. Hit me with Doomsday Sonata number 5. I think I'm gonna have DJ Steve blast the music again on the studio speakers so I won't forget what we're up against. Whoa, all the way up to 11 on the dial, Steve. See you next week, Truth Seekers. I have something to admit to you, Truth Seekers. You all know I'm not one for following agendas or taking orders from anyone. I usually trust my bile and pizza-filled swill vat I call a gut. That's why I'm forced to make a confession to you all. Steve, as demonically brilliant as he might be, was not solely responsible for hacking into this site. Purity First, the anti-human enhancement group who've made a name for themselves by staging violent protests against limb clinics around the world, were the ones who originally supplied us with the codes, provided we make sure we spouted elements of their agenda forward. Now, at first, I had no problem with that. I respect their cause. We agreed on some fundamental issues like Augs are bad for this world, and that butchering our bodies for the sake of trying to achieve a form of superhuman aesthetic was only going to lead us to one place, Apocalypse County. All good, right? Well, the more I started researching my friendly little sidekicks, the more I started asking questions. Sure, they seem like an honest insurrectionist group looking to overthrow this evil regime, but where were they getting their guns? I mean, let's be honest. The soldiers in Purity First don't exactly look like they've been born with a silver spoon. Their ranks are mostly made up of street kids and orphans turned rebels. Someone must be lining their pockets. And what I found was, well, Truth Seekers, weirdness. I'm talking deep throat, Woodward and Bernstein type weirdness. I can't name names right now, Truth Seekers, because I don't want Steve to get picked off on his way home from work today. But let's just say that in Purity First, we may be dealing with a power more dangerous than David Sarif himself. Talk about calling the kettle black. Purity last is more like it. But this just shows that we're living in a world more volatile than it's ever been. The liars lurk in the shadows, and we gotta be careful the truth doesn't get blurred in all this talk of moral purity. I think I even got duped on this one, truth seekers. But don't worry, we've still got plenty of hack codes to go around, so we'll definitely be back on this site next week. Don't forget to log on. So it's official, people. We've received our first string of death threats over here at the studio. Let me make it clear that I am not shocked. I expected this. Whether it's Purity First's cronies because of how I investigated and exposed them last week, or Sarif Industries security squad, who must be so teeth-grindingly frustrated that they can't shake us off their site, someone just had to resort to the predictable private caller routine. But I swear to all you truth seekers out there, threats won't stop us from talking about how these evil biotech cores and their Illuminati scientists are preparing to wage war on us. Or if it's these Purity First nuts who think a good reason to oppose human enhancement is because God's gonna fire a thunderbolt into each one of our mechanically altered asses. But hey, I get it. We got a full head of steam arms race right now. Screw it. It's an arms and legs race, and Sarif Industries is right at the center of it. They've got their lobbyists in Washington and their shareholders on Wall Street making sure they get the political and investment might to create a state of perpetual war. And of course, Purity First and their nameless backers are going to have to match that buildup through organized crime, backed by some faceless but oh so powerful men. The mass enslavement alert chart has gone from orange to blood freaking red. How long before the technological dominance of those on either side of the moral fence leads to a police state? Not long. You know how I know? Because as my covert sources living deep inside the darkest dungeons of the world's most elite power cults tell me, the men behind Purity First are all just major frontmen for bringing around the Illuminati's evil plans for a new world order, and they know I know it! Why do you think I'm getting phone calls every hour? What was that, Steve?
Come out! Get burned!
Steve, shh!
Take him out!
We got a problem, Seekers. We gotta go right now before... All right, we're back! This is our first show from our new undisclosed location. After a group of thugs stormed into our campus studio and threatened to choke the life and recently consumed hot dogs out of me and Steve, we had no choice but to start broadcasting from a secret venue. Steve's mom's basement. I'm kidding! Now listen, Illuminati brown shirts, don't go storming over to Steve's mother's house and start waterboarding her if we're not there. Relax, Steve, it was a joke. Nah, we are underground now, truth seekers. They can't alter this fact. They can't stop me from spewing forth the facts about the New World Order's tyrannical schemes. Now, it's been a year since the Supreme Court dropped its landmark ruling making it legal to mechanically augment yourself. A year since we opened the floodgates to a world full of walking Frankensteins and HAL 3000s. Now we got these protest groups popping up all over the map. Humanity Front, New Christ Initiative, and of course my new stalker homies, Purity First. Now, I don't agree with the actions of these groups because they're usually politically or religiously motivated. But I do get a major hard-on when people start fighting back. You sought the truth, and I gave it to you. Now you need to become soldiers. Get out there. Gather and protest like they did at the opening of the Limb Clinic in Brazil. Those pushers at Limb International are pushing millions of gallons of neuropazine a day to keep you and your family so high and addicted that you can't wait to decide which limb you're going to hack off next. Do you want to know what the future is like, my truth soldiers? Look around you. It's already here. You can smell the stench of our slave state future in the air tonight. And it doesn't smell like strawberry shortcake, kids. We've already let this human enhancement initiative go way too far. The future is going to be flooded with PMCs and their cyborg soldiers. They're going to police our streets and make sure these corporate tyrants keep their biotech empires nice and safe. It's already happening in China. We have to start fighting back now before it's too late. What about you, Steve? You up for a revolt? Steve? Steve's still mad at me for what I said about his mom. See you next week, soldiers. This is our 4th week in our secret hideout, podcasting from an undisclosed location and risking our very freedom to give you the truth, soldiers. Now, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to keep doing this. The Illuminazis are on my ass. But before they find me, I want to make sure that you know what the future is going to look like. Let's look into my crystal balls. That's right, followers, I've got 2 of them. One of my balls is telling me about these private military corps like Dynacorps or Bell Tower Associates, and how it's just a matter of time before one of them goes from a nice little humble group of soldier pals to a full-on enslavement force. How long before a sharp edge knocks on David Sarif's door and says, "Hey, Davy, we think you should hook up some of our troops with a super arm or 2. Or till they walk over to a limb clinic and say, "Think you can give us about 10,000 prescriptions of neuropozyne for free?" I know what you're saying. Hey, why can't we all just augment ourselves, gather a people's army, and overthrow this empire? Well, Lim and the Illuminati CEOs are banking on the fact that you can't afford the drugs or the augments and still feed little Timmy and Tammy at the same time. And they're right. Now, look into my other ball. My other ball is telling me about privately owned biotech research companies like Sarif Industries, Enprotech, and VersaLife. What's that, big ball? Gene therapy and drug testing without governmental oversight, my ass, you say? No f***ing kidding! These places are gonna be the new Area 51's, truth seekers! But this time, instead of experimenting on cute little extraterrestrials, it's gonna be Timmy and Tammy. That's right. I brought Timmy and Tammy's names back into this because that's what this is all about. Our children. They are the targets. They are the ones these biotech corps and their Illuminati backers are going to turn into both oppressor and oppressed. They're gonna turn Timmy against Tammy. Timmy, the augmented super soldier, enslaving the poor, disenfranchised, and ignorant little Tammy. And you know what? If shit doesn't go the way they planned it, they can also have a so-called accident in one of these places and unleash a deadly plague upon the world, killing millions in one fell swoop. Depopulation has always been part of the New World Order. It's the Illuminatis, the Trilaterals, and the Bilderbergs' plan B. This is what my balls are telling me, truth soldiers. But it's not too late. You can start fighting back now. Hit the streets. Protest right in front of Sarif Industries HQ. Throw a Molotov cocktail at a VersaLife building. Punch a Purity First thug in the face. Smash a flat screen that's playing Picus. Grab a canoe and paddle to China and storm the TYM compound. Find out the truth seekers. You can still change the future. What the hell was that? Did you hear that, Steve? Here they come. Get your hands off me, you Illuminati stooge! Steve, don't tell them anything! I'll be back, Seekers! They can't kill me, truth soldiers! And if they do, I'll return from the dead like Lazarus! You will all become my followers!